Hello and welcome to Discovering Grayslake, unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I'm your host, David Wool, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders, right here where we call home. Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation. Wait. Grayslake has a record store? Are you ready to get into the groove? Well, I've got the perfect place for you with new and used vinyl, CDs, tapes, and more. At Andy's Records, they're not just about the hits. They're about the classics, the B-sides, the hidden gems, the vinyl vibes that make your heart skip a beat. For the record, Andy's is not your average music shop. It's a place where melodies meet memories. Andy's Records, because life sounds better with a little spin. And now Andy's Records is even bigger. Come check out their new spot at 16 North Whitney Street.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Grayslake. This morning I am down on Center Street, and I am at First Draft. Tom, how are you today, buddy?
I'm well, Dave. How are you?
I'm good. We've waited a long time to do this. We've talked about it for a long time.
We have, for sure.
Yeah, so I know everybody knows First Draft, so I want to learn a little bit more about you, how everything happened here, and how you get in the bar business. So let's take us back first. Where did you grow up at?
So I grew up in Libertyville and moved to Chicago after high school. Originally intending to go to college. Was never the best student, so I started working in restaurant and bars down there, really, and kind of found a home at a place called The Lodge on Division Street. Okay. And was there about 15 years. Started working the door, bartending, managing, and then eventually started buying my own restaurants down there, restaurants and bars, and then opened up another First Draft in 2014 down on South Clark Street in the Printers Row area.
I had no idea.
Yep, there's another one down there at 649 South Clark Street. I no longer am part of that. My old partners, Jimmy and Chevy, have that one. And moved home here in 2016 to raise my son. And being back home here, a couple of my friends of mine were like, hey, you're home. Let's open a bar. I'm like, we're not opening a bar. You guys have no idea how much work it is. And eventually, a couple of years down the road there, we all agreed, and we bought this piece of property. One of my partners, Bill Lester, owned the vacant lot next door, so we kind of combined them, and away we went. We started construction basically late September, early October of 18.
2018, really?
Yep.
Okay.
2018, we dug the hole, and the village was great. They kind of allowed us to move forward without, for sure plans. We kind of did some of the stuff on the fly, and we were done by, we opened in late July of 20. There was a little bit of delay. There was some gas tanks that were found under the building. We knew of some of them. We did not know of the 2 that were found in the southeast corner of the lot. So that took a little bit of a stoppage. And then we had the big ice storm in 2019 when we got the steel up.
Hey there, Grayslake. Looking for a good time right in the heart of our awesome community? Well, look no further than the Grayslake Village Center, your one-stop destinations for all things fun and fabulous. Picture this. Historic downtown vibes with a mix of diverse businesses, shopping galore, and restaurants that'll make your taste buds dance. But that's not all. The Village Center is where the action is, with events happening year-round for the whole family. Take a stroll through Central Park, Gelatin Park, surrounded by trails, green spaces, and more activities than you can shake a sledding hill at. And when the weather warms up, dive into the Grayslake Aquatic Center for some splash-tastic fun. But wait, there is more. Visit GrayslakeVillageCenter.com to discover the incredible lineup of events happening every month. Want the 411 delivered straight to your inbox? Sign up for the Grayslake Village Center digital newsletter on the website or check out their Facebook page for the latest happenings. Be in the know. Not sure what you're waiting for? Come on down, soak in the local vibes, and enjoy the experience that's unmistakably Grayslake. Grayslake Village Center, where the fun never stops.
So we had gone back and forth whether we were going to tent it or not tent it, and then finally, like St. Patrick's Day, the weather kind of broke and we were able to proceed. And then, of course, by the time we got inside and drywalling and inside framing and trim work and stuff, pandemic.
Yeah.
And certain contractors were very strict about they can only be in here on those days, so it was kind of a rotation between drywallers and trim guys and painters, and so that process took probably 2 or 3 months longer than it would have if they all could have been in here together. But it was quite a process building it out.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Talk about frustration after frustration.
Yeah, it was.
There
was nothing you could do about it.
How many times did you hear, "Hey man, when's it going to be open?" When
a lot, because we thought we'd have it done a lot quicker than we did, but I had never really been involved. The bars and restaurants that I had downtown were pretty much already there. I had First Draft downtown. We actually did gut the building, but the building was already there. We had to knock some holes in the wall leading to the outside, but other than that, it was mostly interior work, and we did not own the building. My landlords owned the building, so they were in charge of actually all the new plumbing, the electric, all that kind of stuff. I was more in charge of flooring, ceiling, the bars, TV, stereo, coolers, stuff like that. So this was kind of my first adventure into that, and it was a learning experience for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And all that time, I don't think people realize when you're doing that, not only you're frustrated and want to open, but at the same time, you're not making any money.
Not making any money. No,
right,
money is just going out, and let's just say we way underestimated what the cost of this build out was going to be by a long shot. But again, it was a learning process. It was fun to do it, and even most of the contractors were, guys that we had known growing up. So it was fun, and then it's been a bit of a struggle since. It's slowly coming out. I think we're still coming out of that pandemic a little bit, and then the bad economy. Obviously when we opened in August, and then Illinois shut down again in November. So we had literally just kind of started getting your feet wet a little bit, and we went down. We had 80 employees at the time, and then by November we were down to 6. We stayed open through the pandemic. For to-go items, we were opening up a little bit in the inside. And then by the next spring, when they release it, you kind of got to get started again. And by that time, a lot of people in this business had chosen to do other things. Because the restaurant business was not stable at that point.
No, and we didn't know what was going to happen.
Nobody knew what was going to happen, and they still had bills to pay. So I saw a lot of companies, they can go to work, whether it's UPS or FedEx or Mariano's or Costco or things like that. Wherever they could get a job, they were getting a job, and you lost a lot of that core group, that 23 to 27-year-old people who at that time maybe thought that this was, whether it was at First Draft or other restaurants, well, maybe this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. They had, they didn't finish school or they didn't go to school. This industry attracts kind of a unique type of personality to work in it, for sure.
Absolutely. And we're saying that we're saying that very good.
Oh yeah, it's they're
the kind
unique
of people I want to hang out
They're
with.
great, but it's a hard business. It's different every day. It's got to be in here early sometimes. You're staying late. It's late night hours for some people. So it's definitely, I loved it when I was a kid. I still love it. But when I was a kid, I worked at, my first job. I started at 9 o'clock at night, and I worked till 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when the bar hours were at the Lodge on Division Street, 9 to 5.
Wow. The opposite 9 to 5.
The opposite 9 to 5, But I liked the nightlife. I liked being out at night. For me, there was more to do. I wasn't married, didn't have kids in my 20s, so I can go to the Cubs game, go home, eat, go to work, or go play golf. There was more for me to do in the daytime than it was at night. My friends were all getting married. They were having kids. The 21, 22, 23-year-old thing was kind of coming to an end in a way. And, I just, I had the best seat in the house behind the bar.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And that takes a lot out of you too. And to be able to find someone, if you want to get married at that point, you have to find somebody that's in the industry that understands your hours, or you're kind of shit out of luck.
The 4 a.m. life is not a life suitable for marriage.
No, it's not a sustainable thing usually.
No, it's not.
I have worked nights my entire life, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's not a great way to do it.
No.
Okay, so when you leave all that and then you come down, so the reason that this location was chosen is because Billy had the property that was next door.
Correct. Billy had the property, and at the time...
We're taking a quick break just to say hello because everybody knows Nano. And Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people.
Mark Hyatt actually owned the building, and if everyone remembers, originally in 2016, him and Goose Island had partnered up, and they were actually going to do this build-out. And for one reason or another, they decided not to do it. So the building just kind of sat here.
Right.
And then when I contacted Mark in like February of 18, he had actually already had a contract with somebody else not to do a restaurant here.
Really?
And the village really wanted a restaurant, so the village really helped me out there. I think they wanted a restaurant. They wanted the jobs, they wanted the sales tax revenue, this corner was built to have a restaurant on it.
Yes.
And that's what they wanted. So, I don't know what happened with the other people or how they worked it all out, but by, middle of May, Mark had contacted me and said, okay, let's get a contract drawn up, and we closed on the building by middle of June.
Oh, wow.
And away we went. We started, we got an architect, and we started with the drawings. We already had a pretty good idea. Billy actually is the one who kind of had the idea early. He had some preliminary drawings drawn up. We made some changes. We flipped some rooms around, and we put an addition. The village allowed us. I needed more room in the back of the building for bathrooms, so the village actually gave us 10 more feet on the north side, and they also gave us, I believe it's about 2,500 square feet on the east side of the building that was actually village property, but we needed that space in order to get everything done here that we wanted to get done.
Wow. Because it's a pretty unique concept, especially, when you're coming to build a bar in this town, and there's already how many here, mm-hmm. You have to come up with kind of a different concept or something that would differentiate you from everybody else.
Yeah, so the concept here is very similar to what I have downtown. Obviously, draft beer is our big focus here. We don't brew beer here, but I have 60 beers on draft, 20 different styles. That is where we were definitely headed to, and as well as the outdoor space here we have is kind of unique to downtown Grayslake. All the food here is made from scratch. I have a chef and 2 sous chefs and a general manager, and so we have a full staff. We're just getting to a full staff. That's like we were talking about earlier. That part of the business I see is returning. You're starting to get people applying for jobs who had had previous experience in the restaurant industry, and have chosen to come back into this business. We're definitely you're getting a better qualified applicant than you were even 8, 9, 10 months ago. Right. You really start to see people with restaurant backgrounds on their resumes, at least some serving years, some bartending years, stuff like that.
Right, which is cool because it's a hell of a lot less training for you too. If they're already there's not a whole lot of surprises for them. They know what's happening.
Yeah, it's a lot. This is not an easy job. Serving food, tending bar, cooking for especially in Lake County. Lake County is hard, and most suburbs are hard. This is not like downtown Chicago where dinner was kind of spread out over 4.5, 5 hours. You had the people who ate at 6 o'clock, you had the people who ate at 7. Some people didn't eat until after the Bulls or Hawks game. I mean, it was spread out. Lake County, it starts at 5:30 and it's over pretty much by 8 o'clock.
Really? It's that fast?
For the most part, yeah. A good percentage. So you got to whip a lot of food out of your kitchen in really, 90 minutes to 2 hours. That's going to be, you're still going to have a little bit. But really, the majority of the food coming out of your kitchen is going to be in between those two, especially Sunday through Thursday, without question. That's when everybody is eating. Especially county. A lot of people come out here. They have their kids. Kids got school in the morning.
Yeah.
People got to go to work in the morning. It's not like in Chicago where, they might live 2 blocks from work.
Right.
Here, people get up, an hour and a half, hour early before work because who knows where they got to go to work. Maybe some of them got to go into Chicago.
True. So the event space upstairs here. So anybody, obviously, I'm figuring the majority of people that are listening have been to First Draft, and I can't say the First Draft. It's still so hard for me. It's just First Draft, yes. But with the concept of outside for dining outside, and then was this built, one of the reasons, very purposefully up here, because we don't have a whole lot of event space in Grayslake to have over 50 people or anything like that. So this is very unique for our town.
Yeah, without question. We were going to do the roof deck for sure anyway, but as the plans kind of came together, that was kind of my focus for this second floor. Was I knew we were going to be able to use this a lot for party space. It's a big restaurant. We also have the first floor patio, so you're not going to have this entire restaurant open every single night.
Right.
There's too many other good offerings in downtown where people can go to. People want to bounce around. You're not going to put 500 people in here every single night.
No.
Weekends, we have the upstairs open, but the weekdays for right now we do not. We are considering opening it Wednesday and Thursday as well as Friday and Saturday. We would start that at happy hour at 3 o'clock. People have expressed some interest in being up here on the roof deck, playing the shuffleboard, playing pool, throwing darts up here for happy hour. So that is something Tony, my chef, Gabby, my general manager, and I have been talking about and kind of aiming towards probably not till like the start of June. But for the most part, weekdays, we do a lot of events up here. We've had some really great partnerships with Abbott, Baxter, Snap-on Tools, multiple events they're having up here, whether it's just a get-together for some of the employees or retirement parties or awards dinners.
Funeral luncheon, too? We just had somebody sent over, unfortunately, on the bad side of things.
Unfortunately, that is an aspect that I really did not see coming, but unfortunately it has been. We've had multiple funerals up here. People, again, it's the celebration of life is a term I choose to use, and it's just a space that it works out for them, and it's whatever we can do to make that easier for them in that day. But we've had been nothing but compliments about it. Everyone's been like, "This is great. It works out great for them."
It's time to unleash your style with custom shirts. Explore endless possibilities with Jammin' Tees. Whether it's for school, business, team, or events, Jammin' Tees has you covered, literally, for all your custom apparel needs.
It's a huge functional space, too, because I have had friends that got married here, too.
Yes.
So if you're looking at weddings, baby showers, whatever.
We have a full wedding here next month.
Nice.
We have actually 3 weddings scheduled here on the year right now where they take the whole building over for the whole day.
How fun is that?
Yeah, it's a great space. Everything kind of moves around. Gabby, my GM, actually got married here, and she set the whole thing up, and they had the dinner up here on the second floor. And they had appetizers down on the first floor, and then the first floor dining room and the first floor patio turned into the dance floor.
So cool.
It worked out really good, yeah. So it's a good space. And that's something I didn't see happening either, but with for what some places are charging for weddings and stuff, it's just an outrageous number, and I think kids today aren't worried about throwing $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 wedding.
No,
this is okay to go out and buy some drinks, have some food.
Right.
You can keep it under $20,000, $22,000, and still have a great time, and use that extra parent money for a down payment on a house or something that's a little more important, because you're really just throwing a party.
Yes, exactly. And me being in the wedding industry for almost 30 years, I see people do stuff where they can, and I think things have changed too, where people want something more unique or something different. They just don't want it in a banquet hall.
Just a big banquet hall with 10-foot round tables, and everyone's on the dance floor, everyone's just sitting at the thing. So it's the space is good for that. You got to get a little creative depending on how big the wedding is, and you got to have some manpower to we got to move some furniture. You got to, you're constantly moving some stuff around a little bit, but. Yeah, the space has worked out great for the a couple weddings we've had here.
That's awesome. So I've got to have 2 events here. My 50th birthday party was here, which I know nobody thinks I'm 50. They all think I'm like 35. But 50th birthday party up here, and then I wanted to also extend a big thank you to you for helping out with the bachelor auction, because without you, that never, ever could have happened.
Well, thank you. I mean, you really did most of the work. I just kind of provided the space and...
Well, you did a lot more than that.
Did a little bit more, but you were really, let's face it, you were the one who kind of did that. And that was a great thing. It was fun. We raised a lot of money that night, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, still looking back at everything and how it's fun how to see community really, really, really came together. And I think it's a testament to our town. Huge.
Agreed.
Huge.
It was a great night. It was a real fun night.
Yeah, for what I remember of it, it was great.
It was. You had a good time.
I think that may be the understatement of any episode we've ever done. Yeah, and I only fell off the stage probably 5 times.
I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, and I wasn't falling up. Yeah, it was hard. It was
more purposeful.
It was.
I thought you were putting on a show.
Exactly. When I wanted the bids to go down, I would fall off the stage.
Right.
And I didn't fall off. I was a little enthusiastic. And yeah.
It was a gracious exit off the stage.
Exactly the way it's done. So we hope to do something like that and hopefully be able to make that an annual event, because I think with that, like anything in event industry, timing is key.
Yeah.
And it was fun when you and I were talking about like the events that you have, before March Madness, before this, before that, and I find it fascinating that your business revolves around seasonal, sporting events, like all kinds of different things that you have to be very careful what you plan, right?
Very careful, very careful. Yeah, this business, especially the type of restaurant that we run here, we've got 50 screens. So sports is a huge thing. Winning sports teams do tremendous things for bars and restaurants, because if you got a game 3, the Blackhawks playing game 3 on a Tuesday night in April. You're going to be busy. Tuesday night in April, you might not be busy. There's nothing going on. People aren't interested. I mean, living downtown during, both those Bulls and Blackhawk, the Bulls run especially. I mean,
how much more money did bars make at that time because the Bulls were great?
People be in line at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon to get in a bar that didn't open till 5, just so they can get a table to watch the Bulls games. But if you remember, they built that entire west side when the old stadium came down, the Union United Center, all those first generation lofts and townhomes that went up over on Madison Avenue and such. That whole area was no go for anybody, before the mid 90s. There was no reason to go west of Halstead Street ever. No reason, unless you were going to the stadium, and then you were like, okay, well you park your car in people's parking, and it was a 50-50 shot if it was going to be there afterwards. But you didn't walk down the street and go to Chelly's Chili, or you didn't go to none of those bars were there. None of that was there. It was not a good part of town, and the Bulls basically should be credited. They are credited for building that whole area up.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And they've stayed there and been sustainable for the most part.
Once people moved in, especially you get people to live in there, and now you can sustain something there. The bars and restaurants will come, but you need people to live in there. And when they took some of those old buildings and started making some pretty unique loft style and some unique living space in general, now all of a sudden, you look at Randolph Street down there now. That's Restaurant Row down there now. That was never there.
Right.
Until 20 years ago.
How sports change everything.
Yeah, it can. It really does. It's a big factor in this business.
Wow. So being one of how many bars do we have on the street? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7?
Yep. We got 1, 2.
I'm looking out the window at Charlie's.
4, 5. 6 or 7.
Yeah.
With Twisted Burger and everything.
I think it's fun to see how our kind of small downtown can sustain, and it seems like you guys all have a pretty good camaraderie of everything, because everything's so different.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's restaurants really should work together, because it's not like if there's only 1 or 2 restaurants in downtown Grayslake, you're not going to get the foot traffic that you're actually looking for. People coming in. It's why Libertyville does so well. Those bars and restaurants, they all work together. The first Friday every month.
Right.
The stores and everybody. You can't find a parking spot in Libertyville the first Friday of any month.
No.
Those bars and restaurants work together. It's not a competition. It's about, we're Libertyville's competition.
Right. Absolutely.
Mickey Finn's and O'Toole's, they're not each other's competition. Grayslake, Gurney, Vernon Hills especially is the rules competition. Now with the new steakhouse opening in Vernon Hills, Perry's opened on Monday. All those Lazy Dog and City Works, all those new restaurants that opened up there, Melody Farms. People aren't necessarily coming from Vernon Hills or Lincolnshire into Libertyville, and same thing around here. You want to keep everybody busy.
Right. Well, I also think it's cool too if one restaurant is packed here. If there's a 20-minute wait, we have an option.
Go down the street.
We can turn around and go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
It just works out fantastically.
Have dinner at Center Cut. Come over here and have a beer. Go to Tasty Freeze and get dessert. I mean, that's just, just bop around, especially when the weather's nice. Get outside and move around.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go to something here. Have you listened to a lot of podcasts of mine?
I've had a couple, or listened to a couple.
Yeah. Well, you don't have time for a whole lot of stuff too. So we do something what we call the Grayslake Hot Seat. So it kind of is a little rapid fire questions, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Tom.
It's time for the Grayslake Hot Seat. The Grayslake Hot Seat today is brought to you by Premier Chiropractic. Dr. John, conveniently located in historical downtown Grayslake. Premier Chiropractic offers you a full range of chiropractic care. John is dedicated to treating people within our community and showing them the benefit of great, convenient, affordable chiropractic care. So if you're looking to get straightened out, go see Dr. John at Premier Chiropractic. Now for the Grayslake Hot Seat.
Tell me about what was your first car you ever had?
78 Camaro.
No shit.
Yep.
What a way to start. I got a 78 Trans Am sitting in my garage right now that needs
I think we were talking about
But that was your first car.
Well, I was kind of lucky. It was actually my dad's car, and I just kind of took it over, and then he ended up just buying it. He's like, you know what, just take it.
That's awesome, though. What a great first car. What was the first concert you ever attended?
I want to say it's Tom Petty.
Nice.
But I don't know for sure because when we started going, it was a lot, especially Summerfest. As soon as we got our driver's licenses, that was a license to go to Poplar Creek and Alpine and Summerfest. So those first couple of summers, that's what we did. We were doing, almost every week, I would say, we were probably, during the summertime, we were at Poplar Creek for sure.
It's so fun to hear the word Poplar Creek.
Oh, yeah, I love Poplar Creek with the big wooden wall in the back. Way better. Yeah. That first time I went to Tinley Park, and they got the chain link fence in the back, and everyone's jumping over it. The sound's not kept in.
Nope.
Poplar Creek was a treasure, and it was so close.
Right. Well, for us, it was very nice that we didn't have to drive all the way across everywhere.
Right.
If you had to have a superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
Flying. Why? Just because it's fun?
Yeah. I don't know what else you would want.
We really don't need a reason for that.
Flying. I can go wherever I want. Flying, yeah, that's an easy one.
Tell me a place you'd like to travel that you haven't been.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not a huge traveler. I went to Hawaii for a month when my old boss got married.
For a month?
A month, yeah. We got a timeshare right on the ocean in Maui. Month. It was actually, I was surprised. It really wasn't that expensive, but I don't know. I guess it would probably be like, I don't know if it would be a place, but it would probably be like a golf trip.
Interesting.
Grab the families and the buddies and the wives and the kids and everybody. Let's go someplace warm at the day after the Super Bowl. Let's go. Who cares where it is? Let's go play. Let's get some sun. We've been stuck in Chicago winter. It's February. The sun's out for 45 minutes a day. Let's go someplace, play some golf, grill some food, have a good time with the friends, the family, the wives, and the kids.
That's awesome. And one of the most unique answers I've had to that question, by the way. Do you have a nickname?
Pause.
Why?
My hands. It was just, I got...
Gotcha.
Just obnoxiously large hands.
And did you have that? So did you play? Do you play sports in high school?
Yep, played football. So that was kind of but it was more just because my hands were just so. They're literally the same size. I think they were this big in 8th grade.
Now every time I see them, I'm going to look at your hands. Okay, pause. So where'd you go? Did you go to high school?
Libertyville.
You did. Did you? Were you good at football? Did you go on after that to play anywhere?
No.
All right. What was your pet's first name?
Brandy.
And what street did you grow up on?
Sherry Lane.
So your porn star name would be Brandy Cherry.
That
it's
be
not
it.
very masculine for you.
It's not very masculine at all.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be very popular. Your performance is going to have to outweigh your...
The performance would be outstanding.
And this is a family show. Thank you. It's not a family show. I'm just totally kidding. If you had to have a theme party at your house, what would your theme party be?
Ooh, I don't know. No, that's a good question. Theme party.
Yeah. We can come back to it.
I would probably, I guess it would probably be, probably like some kind of 80s thing. That's kind of when I grew up. That's kind of when you started doing everything, something around,
Amen.
maybe MTV. Bring back MTV.
MTV party would be great.
Yeah.
I love it. Your favorite Grayslake event to attend?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't been able to attend a lot of events here because I literally am here every single day. I think Grayslake has a lot of nice events. I think the summer they do, the summer nights, or not summer nights, but the summer days with the bands they do over there is nice. Mm-hmm. We've seen the fireworks here from the roof deck that they do over for the 4th of July. Like I said, I haven't, and like I said, I grew up in Libertyville. I've only been here a couple of years, so I really haven't been to a ton of events, and most of my time, it's literally probably 90% of my time I've been in Grayslake has been spent inside these 4 walls.
Right. Well, you're working hard. If you had to bring because I know that you obviously have a fondness for our town, because why else would you be here? So if you had to bring a famous person or somebody you knew, like a childhood friend, that had never been to Grayslake, where would you take them first? Besides here.
Well, we would end up here.
Right, of course. You might start and end up here.
Yeah, we would probably work our way around the block. We'd probably, pop into, all the places. That's kind of what we did when we were building the place. We were at Emo's a lot for sure, because they had, beer and, we put down about 12 pizzas a week. I would jump around everybody. So I think every place in downtown has got a little bit of a uniqueness to it that makes
Absolutely.
That you can. You could just literally jump. You could literally make a night of it and hit literally every single restaurant in town. Mm-hmm. And it just all depends on what you decide what you wanted to have for dinner. And you can go to J Spot and get some of his beer, and then the patio out at Mike's place behind Vine is nice. And then maybe stop at that time. You might need a taco.
Sure, of course. Always time for tacos.
And some dinner at Center Cut or at Emo's or here, and then end the night here, and then we do last call once we're closed. We go over and see Brennan for a quick after-hour drink.
Yeah, I've never been there.
Really?
I've never been.
You're
to
the
Charlie's.
one person in town.
Right. And once again, it shows the diversity of everything that we have here, and there's a little something for everybody, no matter what age it is.
Without question.
Yeah, and there's certain times of the night that's great to be here and there.
Yeah.
Hey, bartender, can I have a...
You better know the answer to that question, because I'm not here to answer that for you. That's the worst thing a customer can do is go, ooh, their hand up, hey, can you wait a minute? Bartender's like, no.
No, absolutely not. What are you having though? What are you ordering?
What am I having?
Yeah.
I'm beer. I'm drinking beer most of the time. When I get a little full with that, it's kind of boring vodka, sodas, but really my choice would be, the beer and bourbon. Love the bourbons, really good bourbons. I don't think you need to go with the high-end, ridiculously expensive stuff. There are so many nice bourbons out there now.
Right.
Good little sipping drink to have along with your beer.
Those get me in trouble.
They get everybody.
You and I have definitely never done a shot of anything together either.
We'll have to change that.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, or we did, and I fell off the stage. It might be your fault. Would the 12-year-old version of yourself think you're cool?
Yes.
Why?
It's just kind of what I've always done. I've always loved sports. I love music. Once I got close to old enough to start drinking, I like drinking. I just like having a good time. I just, this is a lot of work. This by no means do I tell people this is work. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I get to spend probably 15, 20 hours of my week at least sitting at the bar with my friends, watching the game. And granted, I'm still here. It's still work to be done. But, looking around here, this is my office. I got an 8-foot pool table. I got 60 beers on draft. I'm okay.
You're not doing too bad for yourself. I think you're cool. Your job. Well, the good part of it. Tell me about the second time you got arrested.
Oh boy,
it's a trap, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
You've never been arrested, I'm sure.
Let's go with that.
Okay, so yes, and neither have I. Neither have I. I just stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
What do you wish that you learned sooner in life?
What do I wish I would learn sooner in life? Probably how to handle money.
Amen.
I would say that because when I was in my young 20s, I mean, tending bar, there's just cash everywhere. And back then there was no debit card. I would have drawers full of cash. You just don't know what to do with it. You just you just go and just grab it.
And you're young and do whatever the hell you want.
You're just going out, just throwing money, throwing this without question. I wish I would have probably started saving some more money earlier, and just been a little bit, more responsible with it for sure.
Right. It's funny, the times that I've made the most money in my life, I saved the least. And then you get more frugal as we get older, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't have spent that money on this or that or on cars or anything. Last thing you purchased on Amazon?
It's going to sound funny, but it was actually a template for my kitchen that we can roll out because we're making our own fresh-made raviolis now. So I saw them one day back there. They were kind of cutting them individually. I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this, guys.
Sure.
And Brian, one of our sous chefs, said, yeah, we used to have something at the place he used to work. And he's like, go on Amazon's blah, blah, blah. And went there, boom, boom, boom. There it is. And that's the last thing. Purchased that maybe a week ago or whatever it was, a couple weeks ago.
Really? That's really cool.
That's pretty much all I go on. I don't really buy a lot on Amazon except for stuff for the bar, really. I'm not a big shopper as it is. And even at Christmas shopping, I choose to support brick and mortar stores.
Amen.
Over Amazon. So when I do my shopping, we will go to the mall or downtown Grayslake, whatever. I try to do my shopping that way.
Yeah. And, I know people that listen to all the shows will think this is redundant, but when I interviewed Beth Davies, she just said if everybody in Grayslake went down for the holiday season and bought 3 things from local businesses, whether anywhere in Grayslake, how that would change the face of things.
Yeah,
like you
absolutely,
get 21,000 people buying 3 things apiece.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
It would be amazing to support local business. And
yes,
that's
the way it should be.
How many times do you exercise per week?
Counting this week?
Yeah.
Not a huge exercise. I play a lot of golf. Now I'm starting to play golf again. But yeah, I'm up and around. I move around. I've never been a gym guy. I just never have. So I don't, but I get, whatever they say, your steps. I probably get in, 15, 20,000 steps in this building.
Without leaving the place.
Without leaving this building. This is a big building, and I'm all over it.
Wow. When you eat tacos, do you tilt your head to the right or the left?
Probably left.
Okay. And he didn't do it. Everybody else has done it.
I don't even know, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I'm left-handed, so I'm going to say left.
Okay. And the most important question with the most value that comes out of the show is, have you ever eaten a roller dog from a gas station?
No.
Man, I pegged you wrong.
No way.
I thought we were friends.
No. I don't think I've ever eaten gas station food.
Really?
No.
Wow, okay. That surprises me.
They make enough money. I'll get my hot dogs from a hot dog stand.
Exactly. If you had to write a book, what would it be about?
Probably just about, I don't know, probably just about growing up in the Chicagoland area and, how I absolutely I love this place. I love Chicago. I love downtown Chicago. Lived down there, over 30 years. I think the Midwest here is, especially in this part, I think this is just a great place to live. And when I was tending bar at the Lodge, big tourist bar, big convention-near bar, and I'd have people from all over the country, for the most part of the country, not outside of the world, but the country, and they would, they love Chicago. They love the restaurants and the lakefront, and, we have everything here, but everybody always complains about the winters, which I don't even think are a factor anymore compared to when I was a kid.
They're not at all.
I think we had 3 rounds of golf in February, each of the last couple of years. So it's not, and we're not out there playing when it's freezing cold. It's in its 50s and it's sunny. So I guess it would be about growing up where we grew up in Lake County. Libertyville was just a great place to grow up. You're 40 miles from a major city, and just all the everything that it had to offer. I mean, you can do whatever you want here except for skiing.
Absolutely. Let's go one last one. What is your, and then we'll wrap this up. What's your busiest day of the year here?
Well, Fridays and Saturdays in general are always going to be your busy days because you're going to get people who stay out later. So obviously the beverage side of the business goes up. It can be any day.
How about it could be any day?
It can
Not
be
like
any
you
day.
don't have like a St. Patrick's Day or anything that's your
well, without
busiest
question,
day.
if you look at a single busiest day, it's Blackout Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's the busiest day of your year because it's
amateur night. That's what I call it.
It is. It is amateur night. It can be fun. You got to keep it under control. But yeah, without question, I think. I don't think there's a restaurant, and especially, so that is a huge, that used to be a big Chicago night back in the day. Now it's not. Now it's a suburban night, and New Year's Eve is Chicago night.
Right.
New Year's Eve in the suburbs, in the restaurants, is really, it's nothing. It's probably, if it falls in a weekend, it's probably going to be slower than your normal weekend.
Really?
Because a lot of the people who do that, they go downtown and they get the hotel room and they buy the bar package and they buy the food package, and that's what they do because they're going down there, they're spending the night, whereas Blackout Wednesday, they need to be at home because it's Thanksgiving is the next day.
Right.
And they don't want to drive back and forth. Nobody wants to be driving back and forth from Chicago to the suburbs anymore. That's just not a thing.
Right. And for New Year's Eve, if you live in town here, you want to do something different than you do every other weekend. So wow.
Without question. Those have switched. Those have become... Like New Year's Eve in Chicago, until these restaurants and hotels started throwing these extravagant parties, which they didn't do like when I first started. I don't know when that happened. It was kind of a suburban thing, house party, type thing. But now these, especially these 21 to 25, 6, 7-year-olds, they like going downtown. They'll get the hotel, they'll buy the package, and I do that. That's what it is, yeah.
Wow. I see that you take a lot of pride in the facility and your food and everything like that. What's your favorite thing on the menu?
That's a hard question. I like, I really like the new items that Tony has come up with. The raviolis. We're doing a crab bisque. So Tony, he constantly, we're constantly trying to update the menu and change them. We don't want to ever stay. It's been a little while since we've probably added some items.
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services. Personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
So that's something that I think we need to work on a little bit, be better at. Myself, I need to be better at that, keep on top of that more, and try to keep the menu updated and fresh. But like I said, everything we make here, for the most part, everything is fresh. Tony makes everything fresh in the kitchen, and this is,
Has he been with you since the beginning?
He hasn't. So at the beginning was tough. Again, with COVID, I went through. In fact, the guy who originally was my chef, he didn't even make it to opening because he really didn't know what he was. He talked a good game, but he really wasn't. When it came down to it, he wasn't going to be ready to cook for as many people as going to be needed. And then, it's in the middle of COVID, so we went through another guy who came up here from Texas, and then another guy who came up from the city, and that just didn't kind of work out. He was a friend of mine, really good guy, but eventually he was always going to go back. He worked at the Blackstone, so that's where he was going to go to. Then we kind of just ran with cooks for a little while, and then Tony came to us in February of 21, and he's been with us a little over 2 years now.
Wow. And it's cool to have that because especially people that listen to the show, everybody's looking for, everything. Grayslake, where are we going to lunch today? Or where are we going to have dinner tonight? So it's nice it must be sometimes difficult to if you are going to change menu items, to be able to say, okay, these are our most popular items, we have to keep them, and what do you add? Or
that's what you do with these nowadays. You keep your most popular items, and it's easy to access now with all these new POS systems. It tells you basically what's selling, what's not selling.
So what is your most popular beer on draft here then?
So outside of, Miller Lite's always going to be number one. And then I would say it's probably Allagash.
Allagash.
Yep, Allagash, Kronbacher Pills. Those are probably the top three.
Okay, so were you always a beer guy? Like, obviously, when you had the other restaurant, First Draft, so you're a beer guy.
I am a beer guy, for sure. I got into it. I had a little tavern downtown called Casey's Tavern that this guy brought me in to manage and be a partner with. And that's when I really got into it, about 2005. We had 12 beers, put a new draft system in, 48 drafts down there, went through the Cicerone program, and yeah, I really got into it. I love it. I love the beer.
Wow. Okay, so when you have to do that, do you have to work with, does it make it more difficult for your job that you have to work with a ton more vendors then? Or are they pretty much all together where you can get everything?
Oh, no. There's a lot of them are, a lot of the, like Phase 3 from Zurich, Ninth Hour, Villa,
so you have a lot of
Harbor
local.
Brewing, they're a local. They all self-distribute. So I work with probably 15, 20 vendors.
Wow. That's great. So do you have people coming in going, hey, we're a new brewery, we want to get our stuff on tap? Does that happen a lot?
Absolutely. In fact, we had the new brewery over in Mundaline, Tonality. He came in yesterday and dropped me off some samples. And so I'll give those a try, and hopefully we can, get something going with those guys.
Yeah, that's fun.
And we have a lot of rotators. So we had the 60 beers on draft, but about 36 of them rotate. So I'll get one barrel, and then that's gone, and we'll put something else on draft. So our draft list is constantly changing.
Wow. The other thing with all those beers on tap and with restaurant and upstairs, you have a lot of different facets of your business that bring different people in, maybe a different age group in.
Without question.
Yeah, because you come in here on a Friday night or something, you come upstairs. It seems like a lot of the younger people around town end up here.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday nights definitely, especially once the college kids get back, they're up here taking this place over on Friday and Saturday nights. We put the pool table, the shuffleboard, the darts, the foosball table. We make those available free for everybody to play, along with the roof deck, and there's plenty of space for people to kind of move out, move around, and we took our time building it. We put money into it. It's a nice. We just didn't slap it together. It's a nice space.
Right. Because here you could be crowded at the bar, but you have people to move around, whether it's the deck or come into this room, into the what do we call this spaces? I call it the event space area.
Yeah, kind of the event space, the game room, dining room side, the second floor, whatever people refer to it as. But yeah, the games will all be taken up, and once the weather breaks and they're sitting out on the roof deck or they're in the bar, it's just you can get 200 kids up here very, very comfortably without everybody being on top of each other. And again, there's multiple things to do.
Yeah, no, and those must be interesting nights for you as well.
Yeah, they are. It's luckily Gabby, my GM, and she's kind of here those Fridays and Saturday nights. My first 2 years, I was here open to close every single day. And we've gotten to a point with our staff now, especially with Tony, my chef, being here, and Gabby, my GM. They've taken some of that off of me, and so I don't have to be here as much, especially the late night, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm older too, and I've done that life, and so I once in a while, it's still fun to hang out late night once in a while, but for the most part, I try to get my butt home by midnight the latest.
All right. So now that you have this, is there any plans for anything new here? Or do you have any other plans in your life to have another bar or restaurant any other time in your life?
Not this time. I think this is my last one. Because I've been doing this basically since, I started downtown when I was even, 19 years old, working in a bar, working the door underage, and I don't, I'll be 55 here now, or I am 55. So
it's good when we don't know how old we are, by the
way. We still got a ways to go here with this one, and this will probably be my last one. I think this is going to be it.
Nice. Any other changes or anything? Or you seem like you have everything that you want.
The biggest change we're going to work on this year is we are for sure going to get the second floor of the roof deck covered. As you see, we did cover it for the event.
Yes.
That you had up here.
Thank you for all that hard work.
Absolutely. You know, that's really my partner Billy and his boys really got it done. I just kind of pointed. And
because we couldn't have done it without that. we would have
I
been
made
in
myself
big trouble.
look important. But we're going to do something. We're now that we had that up, we're going to have to figure a way to get that roof deck covered with a permanent structure that is still able to open up when we can open it up in the summertime, but then be able to use that space year-round for events and such that we want to have in the wintertime, and even just having the roof deck available in the wintertime with the fireplace and the heaters, it'll be plenty warm in there.
Yeah. How many people does that seat out there?
70. You can get, depending on how you range it, like 75.
Right.
Pretty 75 is crowded, but easy, 60 very, very comfortably.
Right. Well, that's cool, and especially up here because I got a lot of flack because we sold out of tickets for the event.
Yeah.
Because we were at Fire Code. So what is the biggest party that you can have upstairs here?
So my Fire Code up here is just over 300 people.
Gotcha.
And you can have that many people up here, but it gets crowded, and nobody wants to be, elbows to asses. You want to make it, especially when people are having an event.
Right.
It's like you and I talked about. You want to make sure people are having a good time, and they're not set this. They can get to the bar, they can get to the bathroom. If you have the food buffet set up, you can get to the food.
Right.
We do our Super Bowl party every year, and we sell it out every year. And all I do is we sell like about 80 seats. We do it downstairs. I turn the dining room into the big food buffet, and that's it. Everybody, you're guaranteed a seat. You can get to the food. We can all watch the game, and then that's it. I mean, it's just because Super Bowl is a hard thing. It's just you don't have anybody. You got 5 people in your bar when they kick off. That's all you're going to have because people aren't moving.
Right. No, as soon as they sit down. And everybody listening to that, I want to make sure that you know that. So I didn't really know Tom that well at all. So we came in and we were talking about, where to have this event and do everything. But the way that we were able to work together and the care that you put into it was extraordinary. And that you actually cared that we wanted to stop selling tickets at certain times so people would enjoy themselves. So first thing I noticed about you, it wasn't about making as much money as you could. It was about people having an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, because this business is about, you can get everybody to come in, once or twice. It's really the repeat business. You want people, and a lot of people who were in that room that night probably had never been in here.
Right.
Like I said, we're still coming out of COVID. We're distancing ourselves from that for sure.
Right.
But you want them to have a good time. You want to be able to get, it's the way I preach to my staff. It's about, you got to have, every bartender thinks they can serve 100 people. You can't serve 100 people, not properly. You can't. So you want to get drinks to people properly, and you'll make your money at the end of the day. But at the end of the year, you've got to put a number in your head, and that's where you're going to be. You're never going to figure this business out on a day-to-day basis, ever.
Because we never know. Like you said, there's so many variables.
So many variables. You put a number in your head and not worry about it, and just do the best you can all year long, and then more times than not, that number is going to be there at the end of the year.
No, that's great. So my takeaway here is, especially who people haven't been here, whether you want to just come and have a variety of tap beers, do you want to come in for lunch, do you want to come in for dinner, you have nightlife here, we have games, we have event space, if somebody wants to have an event here, you do all the catering. So basically they just come here, talk to you.
Yep.
Everything's taken care of.
Yep. They can come and talk to me, or they can get a hold of us through our website at firstdraftgrayslake.net. That's got a direct link to our party room, and that's kind of the best way to handle the parties. We just kind of go back and forth with that. Then you come in, take a look at the space. You're more than welcome to come in and talk to me if you like. But yeah, party space. As I said, we're booking up. Our weekends are almost booked through July.
Great.
In the daytime, not so much, not at night, not at nighttime, but yeah, people are really coming out and using the space. A lot of bridal showers, baby showers, stuff like that. Graduation parties in June. So we've got a wedding in April. I got another wedding in September. All kinds of, I knew that would be an event space, but the way people are using the space, some of the ideas I would not have thought of. I'm like,
that's great.
Yeah, all right.
That's great.
1-year-old birthday party? Sure.
Right. Why not? Right.
Absolutely.
So after I hit end on here, there's a couple things I want to talk to Tom about. A couple things are that from discovering Grayslake, we're going to try to do a couple more little charity events on a smaller scale in between. One of them includes an 80s night that I want to do.
There you go.
And we want to make sure that we can do some things to give back to local charities and forming our corporation of Friends for Benefits. So we'll kind of do something fun because
Absolutely.
I think one of the reasons that was so successful too is because we tried to do something different.
It was very unique.
Yeah, and I got caught a lot of shit for it on other ways. But at the end of the day,
you did a great job. It was unique, and the guys who made the videos and posted the videos, some of those were priceless.
It was great, though. But once again, thank you for that, and thank you for everything you do for our community. I know you give back in a lot of different ways, and you're here to help everybody. So
Absolutely.
I tip my hat to you. So
Well, thank you.
So everybody, come to First Draft, not the First Draft.
First Draft.
Where do they? So on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere. This is First Draft.
First Draft.
Okay, and I think it's one of them's First Draft Grayslake.
The website's firstdraftgrayslake.net. Yep.
Awesome. Well, Grayslake, thank you so much for listening. Tom, thank you so much for your time today. Folks, wherever you're listening, do me a favor, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple or YouTube or wherever your favorite listening platform is, make sure that you subscribe because that way you can get notified of any new guest from our town that comes on. And I do recommend everybody to listen to people you don't know because I think it brings our community more together. We learn more about businesses and the people behind them. And as I always end, we never know what our friends are going through. So get out there and do one random act of kindness today, whether you just make somebody smile, hold the door for an old lady, whatever you got to do. I think that brings everything together. So thank you again. Thank you,
You're
Grayslake,
welcome, David.
for listening.
Thank you.
And we'll see everybody next Tuesday.